Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're listening to Batman on Film.
I'm vengeance.
I have given a name to my pain.
The Batman.
Always waiting for some Batman to save you.
It's simple. We kill the Bat of Gotham. I'm Batman.
Welcome to the Social Hour, a Batman on Film podcast, batman-on-film.com. Ryan Lauer, senior BOF contributor. What's the rule with the dashes?
Don't forget the dashes.
Don't forget them.
Or you'll end up at Olive Garden with Peter Vera.
You get exactly.
You don't want that.
With all the breadsticks and salad that
Yeah.
you want. Yeah. It's
Like
like
stuff in his face and not happy about it.
yeah. All right. Ryan Lauer joins us. This is the Social Hour, as I mentioned. This is episode number 219.
Oh, you're so close.
Getting close.
Getting closer to the big one.
Getting close. And I am merely Bill Ramey, the founder of Batman on Film, and we are here to talk some Batman on Film.
Woo!
So some literal Batman on Film, the
Yeah.
Batman Part 2, and CLAYFACE.
All right.
Batman movie.
Batman
or
adjacent.
Batman adjacent. Batman-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CLAYFACE wouldn't have happened without Batman.
Yeah.
That's true.
Got a trailer and poster and a couple other, people. Warner Brothers released a few publicity shots. I posted on Batman on Film, but of course people go through and they take screenshots of the trailer. So there's all sorts of pictures from CLAYFACE. We're going to get to that here in a second, but first some witty banter. Ryan, how have you been, and how's the weather?
All right. Well, the weather is pretty good. We're getting teased with some very comfortable 70s lows in the low 60s, upper 50s. Last weekend, out of nowhere, we shot back down to some cold weather. It was just like 3 days though. Now we're back up to the warm, sunny. It's good stuff. I always
Okay.
say that like my weather is sweatshirt and sweatpants. That's
Yeah.
my comfort zone. I like having the door open, some letting the chill come through, but then it's like when I start to get a taste of this, summer weather,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm good. Bring it on.
So
And then come
yeah.
August when Texas weather hits us, then
Okay.
I'll be like, yeah, I'm done with this shit.
Okay. Okay. So, and for reference, you were talking about Indiana weather.
Indiana weather, yeah.
Indiana, the Midwest,
The Midwest.
Indiana. Okay.
We actually got good weather early this year. We've started to have like this month the past month has had a lot of severe weather through our area. I know there were some tornadoes, I think at the beginning
Yeah.
of April. Yeah, and we kind of have some constant like big wind gusts. We have some trees outside of our place. One day when we lost power for over a day, that storm took our tree completely out, and then just a week and a half or so ago, a tree across the pond got taken out too. It's been quite an April.
Yes. April's a volatile weather month.
Yeah.
As you
I've
know,
still never seen a tornado like in front of like with my own eyes. I've never seen one, and some people have called me crazy. And I'm like, I would love to, but I would love to be out in the country because Indiana is just flat fields.
Yeah.
So you can see far in the distance. I'm like, that's how I'd want to see a tornado because then I could see the direction it's moving, so I can haul my ass the other way.
Yeah.
But then I'd be able to see it. Have you ever seen one?
I have.
You have. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I was coaching and looked off. Now, if you want to count, the funnel cloud was dipping down.
Mm-hmm.
I think it may have touched and went back, but I looked, it was practice. I looked off, the weather was starting to get a little
Yeah.
rough. I look over and I see the funnel cloud dipping down, told all the, all my kids, all the players, into the locker room immediately. And so not a full blown, I don't think it came down full blown and then tore up a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I've saw
You probably
one.
did the smart thing. You didn't stick around to
No,
confirm. You're
no,
like, let's haul it.
no,
Let's
no.
go.
So that's
Let's
probably the
ride.
closest stuff came. Yeah. So yeah, just check here, Texas weather, Dallas Fort
Mhm.
Worth. It was it's been the kind of schizophrenic.
Oh,
Uh we've had it got up in the 90s in March,
ooh,
and then last weekend it was in the 30s.
okay.
And now it's settled into like 60-ish when you get up, and probably near 80. But
Do you keep
it's
your house
coming.
cool?
Yes.
Because whenever I record with you, I think you're always in a hoodie.
Yeah. I don't have
So just
time
curious.
for I gotta have it. Yeah. I'm one of those keep it cool in the house people.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah. I got
That's my
like
son.
at night. I got a ceiling fan and I got a
Yeah.
Dyson fan blowing
Oh
in the
yeah.
bedrooms. Yeah.
I need a fan to be blowing on me to fall asleep, and I need it for noise. That's my white noise. It
Yeah.
cancels out
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah.
But then also I discovered too, and maybe this is a very like strange thing that at home, if I start to get hot behind my knees, I get cranky. I'm an angry fella, and I'm uncomfortable. So it's always
That
like
should be a
starting to get warm. Let me feel behind the knees. We need to cool this down, okay? This is
yeah.
it's getting too hot.
That should be a t-shirt. Okay. I'm hot behind the knees.
You don't want me hot behind the knees,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. It's like you don't want to get me angry like the Hulk.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Well, let's get that shirt and then sign it BOF, and there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't want to get me hot behind the knees.
Okay, last just nonsense topic. Anything, not this wouldn't be nonsense, so let me take that back.
Hmm.
Anything new on the Batman collection front? That can include like a comic book anthology, whatever.
Yeah,
Uh
so I've got
t-shirt, apparel,
shirts
anything.
are coming. I've got two Batman 66 shirts waiting for me at work. Bill knows where I
Okay.
work, and yeah, there's a Batman in color. So it's a symbol, the
Yeah.
Batman symbol, and it says in color. And then another one
Yeah.
is Batman and Robin. It's got something about fighting crimes in 66. Those are waiting for me. My uh quote unquote not Jack 89 Joker is I've pre-ordered, and I just got an email that's saying that that's getting ready to be headed my way finally. And then I've got some absolute editions that I'm getting later this summer. So Absolute White Knight by Sean Murphy. I was originally scheduled to come out in May, but that got pushed back to July. So that'll be coming. Absolute Darwin Cook. That'll be coming. And then Absolute Neil Adams Volume 1. It's like three in a span in like a month and a half. So I know
Yeah.
I gotta be saving.
I'm into these DC Finest
Yeah.
collections. This one is the Killing Joke and Other Stories. I have a few others.
What is the color? What they go with for color on in the Killing Joke on those? Because you know how they had the original one, and then when they did a deluxe edition is when they released Bolland's coloring.
Yeah. Um,
And you know the differences, right? Like you've seen both.
I have, but
If you hold it up, if you're unsure, I could tell you. Oh yeah, that's the original coloring.
yeah, that's what I
Nice.
thought.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So
That looks thick.
yeah, I mean, it's a lot, and
There's
these
a lot
are,
in that one.
they're only like 30, $35. That's a lot of comic book history
Yeah.
in there. So I enjoy these
So
quite a bit.
I've been looking at the issues included on each one of those that are released, and it does because I've bought, they've done a lot of, I don't know how many they're doing anymore. I haven't seen any for a while or any announcements of like, because Legends of the Dark Knight and Tales of the
Yeah.
Batman and its collections of artists and writers. Um, and I've snatched up nearly every single one of those. But when I see the trades like that you just held up, it just seems
Yeah.
like mostly everything in that I've got. Either, and like that, it's Killing Joke. It's like, well, I have, how many copies of the Killing Joke? And
Yeah.
then it contains other artists and stuff. And I'm like, it looks like maybe 4 issues are in that I don't have a hardcover of. I'm like, that I can't spend $30 on 4 comic book issues. So that's kind of why
Yeah.
I've held off on those. But otherwise,
I've
I'm
got,
I'm
yeah.
glad that they exist, that they're coming
Yeah.
out.
I've got the Batman Case of the Chemical Syndicate,
Mhm.
DC Finest, which is, of course, has the very first Batman stories. Batman Year 1 and 2, which has that mid 80s era
Yeah.
in there. Death in the Family is just out. Um, and I think I have that ordered.
Of course, it's one
And
of your favorites.
yeah, Blind Justice, Batman Red Skies.
Blind Justice got a second life with Begins
Yeah,
because they really pushed the
man, they've
Descart
got
angle.
some new ones coming. DC Finest Batman, The Demon Lives Again. So you can figure
So
out
you're
what
able
era
to
that's
tell
from.
announcer Rachel, don't worry, I'm not getting
Yeah.
collectibles. I'm
Look,
getting
I've gotten
books.
better. I've gotten better
I've cut
because I
back
mean,
on the
like,
figures.
literally, I mean, now I've got, we'll have the Batman. Like, I go, what else can I possibly
They're
get figure
good.
wise?
Yeah.
And then they're going to they'll make something. I go, well, yeah, I have to have that. The only thing I, I would be getting if they would, I don't know where McFarlane is. It's some gray area because do they still have the license? Because they still,
I think through this year, and
okay,
then it goes back. Um,
okay,
and I can't keep it straight. Mattel or not, maybe not Mattel, somebody, I don't know. I'm not the
okay,
toy collector guy,
yeah.
but it expires at the end of this year.
The only thing that I would like from McFarlane is I wish they would um, do the little mini cows for every
Yes,
Batman movie.
I
I've
agree.
got I've got Batman Begins and Batman 89 and Batman and Robin. That's the only 3 they've got
Yeah, I
from
thought for sure
movies.
that it was going to become a new thing of doing every movie. And I think for 66 they only did the big one. For
Oh,
the Dark Knight, they
yeah,
only did the
yeah,
big
that's
one.
right. Yeah,
And I'm like, both of those, I was like, and maybe I'm wrong about 66, but I know Dark Knight. I was like, oh, they're going to do a mini one of these for sure. And they never did. And that's a bummer. Bill's got to check.
yeah. There is a 66 mini
Okay.
cow.
That's what I was talking like, wait, hold on. Hold on. And I don't know. I was really hoping they're going to also. As far as like figures for him, it's like I never got my hands on an 89
Yeah,
from McFarlane or George Clooney Batman. It's like if I could get those two, I'd be
you'd be good.
happy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't need more outside of that. I think Arnold looks cool. His figure looks cool. I don't need it though. Although I don't have a Mr. Freeze figure.
I got that deluxe one or whatever hell it was.
Yeah.
I actually took it out and it's got the lights
Yeah.
and it looks cool
Looks good.
in the dark. Yeah, it's got that fluorescent
So I need to
glow.
get that one too. Damn it,
Yeah,
Bill. Okay.
yeah.
All right.
All right. There's your witty banter for
Yeah.
episode number
We
219 of
brought
the
it,
Batman
we
on Film
related it to
Social Hour.
Batman.
Sure. Brought it all back because it's
You
all
did.
connected.
It's all connected.
All right. Let's talk Clayface first. And then
Okay.
we'll finish up with the Batman part 2. Clayface, just if you didn't know, there's a live action Clayface movie coming based on the Batman villain Clayface. There's been historically different Clayfaces and different incarnations. The original Basil Carlo version from the 40s was not a shapeshifter, mud monster type being. Was like a master of disguise, former actor. This one is in the movie, and so as far as the movie is concerned, It was developed by Matt Reeves. Of course, you know who is the mastermind behind
Never heard of him.
the Batman epic crime saga. It apparently started out as intending to be adjacent to the Reeves verse, but I'm guessing it's just a speculation. I would assume as that was, they were thinking, okay, so you can do an idea, but you got to can't do shapeshifter. You're going to be Reeves verse. And so it probably could, I would say you probably couldn't find a storyline that worked. I mean, what would you go? Serial killer, master disguise type, and maybe there was just not enough there for a movie. So it becomes DCU. And it is Matt Hagen, actor, set in Gotham City, but not Reeves' not the saga Gotham City, and what will be the Gotham City of the DCU. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, straight up horror movie, and we got a poster and a trailer. So let's talk about the poster first, because that's what first image. A little disturbing in a good way, right?
Great. I'm a horror fan.
Yes, I was about to say.
I like horror. So I'm, there's curiosity there, but then there's also I don't know. I don't care of how the formation of this, because it seems like this movie is happening as movies should.
Yeah.
You had a writer who said, I have a great idea.
Mike Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan pitched a movie. They said, that sounds great. And then wrote it. And then it just went and just kept rolling. And now it's a movie that's be coming out. Obviously, I'm not saying that the movie's great. I'm already the hugest fan. I'm so excited. But I'll wait and see the movie when it comes out. But it just kind of seems like this was organic. It's just like it just happened as movies should happen,
Because
movies
do you get an idea, and by the time you get to the finished thing, it's completely different than what the original idea was. But that's the seed, but it evolves. And this is like one of those in the creative process. It evolved and it became what it is. So,
and
I'm
I think
perfectly fine with
and I'm curious. There's a little not limited curiosity, but because I feel like I heard when it first started to, and not just like, hey, a little bit of rumor scuttlebutt, when it was more than that. It seemed like in those stages it was body horror. So to me, is like, well, that already doesn't seem to fit Reeves. So maybe I don't know if the mixture of like, well, Reeves, it was trying to see if it could fit in his or not, or if it was just a, how do we make this work? Like, how do we get this movie made? Maybe that's the part that took a while is, like, well, Gunn, how do we make this fit for you? Because I'm not going to use it, but
it's like, okay, the best way to do this is
the fine print.
Because they used the analogy the comparison was The Fly.
Yeah, that's body horror.
Yeah.
Through and through.
Yeah, The Fly. And I can see from the trailer, I get it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
all you did was ask about the poster, and then I took us on a whole different direction.
But no, but it's like going the horror route. There's something about, tell me if this makes sense whatsoever.
All right.
There's something, if you go the horror route, even James Gunn said, no, this is not superhero / horror. It's straight up horror. When you go that route, and from the scenes we see of, his disfigured face, it becomes, if you, suspend reality type, quote unquote, more realistic-ish. You know what I mean? You go, and it's pure science fiction horror, right? I mean, not going to be a shapeshifter guy. But like with The Fly, you were like, okay, scientists doing these experiments and trying, and then goes bad, and you can kind of go, what? Maybe that could happen at some point. Some bad deformity genetically or something goofing around with science. So, like I said, does any of that make sense whatsoever?
Yeah. It just doesn't seem, and I know this is almost a trigger word for you. It doesn't seem too fantastical in the trailer or the teaser and the poster, it's not too like, oh, this is so out there. I've just really got to
Yeah,
totally. It's like, no, we're seeing something that can give a reaction, get you to react in
because you
in
could have
some way.
done a Clayface movie, not horror, and it'd be kind of a lighthearted, you know, watch this guy shape shift into all that, and different people and and just this.
Look at, he's a
Yeah,
car. Oh, he's a
yeah,
sledgehammer. He's
yes,
a
yes,
trampoline, and people are
yeah,
bouncing on him. Har har har. They
yeah,
could totally do
exactly.
that. I mean, that was kind
Yeah,
of that could almost be how, wasn't that comical is how he was in the Harley Quinn animated series. And he was
yes,
funny. He was.
yeah. That's what I'm
Um,
talking about. Yeah,
oh my gosh, he can shift tones. Oh my, it's right there. Clayface can
yeah.
be anything you need him to
Oh,
be.
I see what you did there. Yeah,
Yeah. And the detective run, the Rebirth detective run, they kind of made him like part of the crew with like
yeah,
Robin and all them. I wasn't particularly a fan. I sometimes I like freaking villains to just be villains.
yeah,
And nothing about this says that he's gonna be a villain, but I think this is just like, hey, this is DC property. So yes, like it's their property. But let's just make a movie and people let's just watch it. If you're interested, cool. And I think sometimes we can just dumb it down like that's just what this is. This is a movie. Are you interested? Awesome. It's coming out in October. I'm interested.
okay,
I'll be
yeah,
there.
yeah. A great time around Halloween, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Uh,
I'm surprised more don't come out, like horror movies don't come out in October.
yeah,
I'm surprised there aren't more than what comes out
yeah,
in theaters.
for sure. Uh, describe the poster. Going back to that.
Oh, the poster, it's is it he's
Yeah,
like it's a mostly profile shot as his mouth is like big, like open, almost like a stretching in agony, but you can see
yeah,
it's almost as if stretching skin open as well. And that's his
yeah,
mouth.
yeah,
That's great because that's not too violent for all ages to just see that image, but that's definitely one that, like I said, causes a reaction
yeah,
too. You'll be like, oh, like something like I think a certain age group, probably of boys, would look at that and be like, oh, that looks awesome. And then
yeah,
others can be like, oh my God, what is happening to his face?
yeah,
It's a great image and simple too, because I don't like barf of how many posters now are like, we've got to slap everybody that's in this movie's face on the poster, and that's the
hmm.
poster. I think it looks like crap. I think
I don't like those posters. Yeah,
horror's the only one that consistently does like let's be creative in our
yeah,
posters. And I think I think that's a great first poster. There will be more. Who knows? Maybe there will be one that's got everybody's face, or maybe every one of Matt Hagen's faces are on the
yeah,
Clayface poster.
yeah. Um, it the poster has that little, above the title block is, DC Studios.
Hmm.
What would you say mainstream general audience sees this in a theater? They'll have no they'll have no clue, no idea it's Batman adjacent. Very
I can't.
few, I would say very few general audience know Clayface as a Batman villain.
People will see either in the trailer or after the movie and see Gotham
Gotham. Yeah.
and or hear Gotham, and then I think those who don't know would ask some questions, and not in like
Yeah.
a hold on a second here, but just I always say with my lady, she's my general audience.
Yeah.
She's got a little bit more nerd in her now because of me. You're welcome, I tell her.
Yeah.
But she, that's what I see. She would ask me of,
Hmm.
okay, so he's in Gotham,
Yeah.
and then I'd say, how much do you want me to say? Because that depends on
Because
if we'll be here
everyone
for a minute or
knows,
an hour.
yes. Because you say Gotham City, they know Batman.
That's Batman. Gotham is
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's where questions would spawn. But I think that's okay because that's not DC and Warner Brothers luring you in of like Batman City. This is Batman City, and there's a movie here like using Batman. It's like no, the draw is Clayface,
That's yeah.
and I
My
think that's
my
important.
my hope. Yes, it's in Gotham City. You even see a shot of Gotham police car in it and whatnot. I hope they're not banging us over the head like, hey, this is Gotham City. You know who lives in Gotham City? Batman lives in Gotham City. That kind of, just have it like you see a movie, it's set in New York City. There's not this, can't you see we're in New York City? Look at that Statue of Liberty. Look at the Empire State, beating you over, just be subtle about it. And I think that's what they're doing here. I really do. I think that's what they're doing here. I don't expect Batman cameos. I think there could be like little Easter eggs in the background. I think there was a picture at some point. There's a Flying Grayson's flyer
Oh, okay.
in the background, you know.
I don't, and see, that's fine. Those are to me, as long as like the camera is, it's like following him as he walks in front of it, and then it's like big zoom on it, and then just
Yeah.
hangs there, and like,
Yeah.
hey, get it? Huh? You
Yeah.
get it? That's annoying.
Exactly.
But otherwise,
Yeah.
it's like general audience won't see it. They'll still follow the movie. Us, us nerds will see it. That's like a
Okay.
little extra perk. And those are the Easter eggs for
Yeah.
me that I'm complete,
La-
like, I applaud.
Last thing about the poster, and then we'll talk about
Oh
the
yeah.
trailer a little bit. You see the poster,
hmm
and oh, this is a scary movie,
Yeah.
right? It gets
Yeah.
that message across pretty
I think
well.
so. Yeah.
Because it could be him smiling and going,
He's got
doing the
two
song and
hands up
dance.
and each
Yeah,
finger is shape shifted into something different. It's like, what's
yeah,
he gonna do next?
yeah.
No, I think it definitely, the tone.
So general audience comes by, sees that poster, and goes, "Oh, this is a horror movie. This is a scary movie."
I think
They,
so.
so I think it did its job with that
I
that
think so too.
poster. Okay.
Yeah.
Trailer overall thoughts.
I thought it was excellent.
Yeah,
What a great, I don't need to see anymore.
yeah.
Um, I wasn't one that upon announcement, I'm not one that's like because DC's on it that I'm like, I'm all in and I'm so excited. I'm like, no, sell me. Batman, I will. Yes, flat out. I don't need to see or hear anything. I'll see Batman. Clayface, it was intriguing, everything up to now. But I was like, I don't know, show me a trailer. And then I'll make up my mind. Well, it did its job because in a minute it completely sold me that I'm in. I'll be there opening weekend. The tone was excellent. And speaking of, it's all connected, Bill. Just talking to BOFers, Andy, Luca, and Reno, they brought this to my attention. So the song in the movie that they use is
Mm-hmm.
by the Flaming Lips. And the Flaming Lips also, I want to get their name or the song. I don't know what the song's called. The original, the one used in the trailer. But then they had mentioned that the Flaming Lips also did the song that we hear in Batman Forever when the Riddler's walking into his place or when Edward Nygma's walking into his place for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing
Mm-hmm.
his scope. So it's
Yeah.
all connected.
Yes.
Just throwing it out there. Yet
Yeah.
another example of how it's all connected.
Yes. Great
Uh,
work. Yeah. Yeah.
but I think there's something, can't all be done, but it is almost like the trailer is one shot and it's of him, laying in that hospital bed and then quick shots of
Mm-hmm.
things from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been a trailer device over the years that can be done like excellently. And I thought this was one that was very effective with that sharp cutting of images where you're getting the story of like something's happened to this guy and you're seeing of like, okay, like I don't know, you can kind of put the pieces together without specifics of seems like he had it all. Something
Mm-hmm.
happened, a procedure or an attack or something, and then he's got something on his face now and it's saggy and it's and then the brooding and build up of the music and the tone of it all with the like an added sound comes halfway through that's like a warping sound and stuff and it's I don't know it's great like I was so pleasantly surprised watching that thing.
Yeah, I was too. I I wonder how much they lean into the shape shifting part where he can become anybody type that kind of thing, or is it just he's just this deformed individual with skin that doesn't stay, a body that doesn't stay solid. You know what you know?
Yeah, it's I mean, granted, this is very quick, but it just seemed like that was face. So like, because that would, it's kind of funny how Do You Realize by the Flaming Lips, that was the song used in the trailer. Um, I mean, it sounds stupid, but CLAYFACE, so it's
Mm-hmm.
his face that should be able to change. And it always makes me laugh in movies when, it is a whole like I'm dressed up as somebody else, and all of a sudden they fit that person's
Yeah,
stature.
yeah,
So all of a sudden, this, 6 foot, 200 pound male is a 105 pound woman.
yeah,
And then takes that mask off, and all of a sudden he's back to
yeah,
his normal. Like that kind of crap is like, oh God, come
yeah,
on. Like it's a harder sell for me. And it's distracting. Um, this like, yeah, I don't need that answered for me before I see the movie.
yeah,
Answer that when I see the movie.
yeah.
Um,
I'm with you.
it my gut reaction would be, oh, I hope that it's just his face. Because that could definitely work. And that could be like, yes, this is fake, but not getting me too out there that's starting to become like, well, you're losing me here. Just with the
Yeah.
face, and which is
Like
important.
his like his arm becomes a giant sledgehammer all of a sudden. You know, that kind
Like
of stuff.
and I'm not one that will ever say that I don't, just because something doesn't sound appealing to me doesn't mean that the final product won't win me over. So I'll never be one that's like, I do think Pete posted a question in the Facebook group about the favorite Clayface, and there's been iterations. The Caped Crusader one was great. Like I loved
Mm-hmm.
that one. It was I love In Strange Apparitions towards the back half of that with Preston Payne. I think that's a great story, but I do think it's the one from Batman the Animated Series, which is completely big mud monster, changes shape and everything. But
Yeah.
I just love it. I love that version. Um, I don't. I right now that's not such an easy sell for me to, like in a live action movie, that's what I'd
Mm-hmm.
want to see. That doesn't mean that if they do it, I wouldn't like it. It's just no. I think this tone, and it seems like it's a focus on the face, that can totally work for me and keep me really invested with it. And how, I'm really glad that they showed to effect really quick flash of his face drooping. And then at
Mm-hmm.
the very end, like the last like scare, I guess, if you will, where he
Yeah.
does the whole rub and everything
Mm-hmm.
goes away. Like, I don't know, that's effective to me. And it's going there, but not too much
Mm-hmm.
going there. And I'm cool with that. And they might go completely bonkers by the end, but they may like earned going fully bonkers to where we're,
Yeah.
we're along for the ride then too.
Yeah. Seems to be a little bit of and the Cape Crusader, that version of Clayface, similar to this, I think, a little bit. You know, his was all he took the whatever he was taking
Hmm.
to stay young and be able, act and be handsome, to be handsome, to be a leading man, not some character actor who plays baddies. We'll talk about character actors who play bad guys here in a second.
Well, I think that's like um a timeless uh theme,
Yeah,
fear. Like that's a human thing, is you want
yeah,
to look good. And if you're
yeah,
getting attention for something, you want to continue getting attention for it. So I think it does not matter. Those are stories you can that can be your story, but then change it for the times, like throughout decades. Like that could work in the 1940s, that could work in the 70s, it can work now. Um, did they ever say what time period this was in? By the looks of it, it didn't. I don't know that it
it looks
felt
contemporary to me.
okay. Like too, I don't. It didn't feel too contemporary, but didn't feel like either that
Yeah,
it was like old timey, golden age Hollywood stuff either.
yeah.
Um,
We'll see
yeah.
eventually. I think I'm. I
I was
didn't
gonna
know
say,
what I
how did
would.
you feel?
I didn't know what I would think about this movie
Mhm.
when it was announced, because my mind immediately goes to, okay, if you're going to do Clayface in the DCU, then it's going to be the big shapeshifter, and then you can be a car, you can be a mailbox. All of a sudden, these knives and weapons just morph out of your arms and all that. And I was like, that's just, yeah, no, that's just too much. It's not my thing. But this doesn't. And then they talk about it being a horror movie, and it's this the Fly thing, it being like the Fly. I'm like, and then seeing the trailer, yeah, I'm very interested in seeing it.
Yeah. I think like
Very interested.
anything's on the table because uh, look at a scientist that turns into a fly.
Yeah,
Man, would people really want to see that? Well, apparently people did.
yeah,
Um, Go superhero with it. This big purple dude that's got um big holes to walk through, and he's on Earth, and then all these other alien fighting things and stuff are fighting too. Well, people really want to see that. Well, yeah, it's one of the biggest money-making movies of all time. I'm talking Avengers and Thanos and all that stuff.
yeah,
General audience went and saw that. Like, you take wild ideas, Avatar. Man, it had a 13-year gap between the first and second one. Does anybody care anymore? Yeah, apparently people still care. Like, who knows? I guess in the end, it's like, is the movie good?
yeah,
Focus on that first. And I think, just like Todd Phillips did with Joker, I don't know the exact quote, but it was something about, like he wants to make this kind of movie. Well, let's slap Joker on it, and then we can make it. Basically, we can make it happen. Well, maybe for the pessimists can be like, well, why does this have to be DC? Why can't they just make this a normal movie? It's like, well, it's for marketing. Slapping DC Studios on there, calling it Clayface is just gonna get more attention quicker than if it was called Handsome Forever, or something like that. Like,
yeah,
like it's gonna slip by so many people. So I
yeah.
totally get it from that viewpoint too of like this totally applies as a character in DC lore.
Mm.
This is our idea, and so I hope that it's good by what I've seen. I wouldn't, I've been disappointed by seeing something or a trailer being excited and then watch the movie and be like, ah.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I hope
not
this
one of
lives up.
those. I'm not. I have no issue with a movie or like a HBO series, prestige series based on a DC or Batman villain.
Hmm.
It doesn't bother me. Like Joker, I was like at first like, do I really need to see the movie of the origin of the Joker? And then I saw Joker, and I thought it was one of the most, fresh. I thought it was great. The first one, second one, yeah. Um, so the second Joker has not deterred me from. Okay, you're going to take a DC villain and make a movie. Okay, let's go.
Hmm.
Especially with the way you're going with this route, it being a horror film. So comes out in October, about 6 months from now.
I'll be able to wear a sweatshirt and sweatpants to go see it.
Yeah, you will
Woohoo!
be. Yeah. You mentioned character actors who play
Hmm.
villains.
Hmm.
But Charles Dance fall under that
Hmm.
category.
Well, he has probably his most notable role. He has a long list of acting credits. This is a professional. It's not like he's only done one thing.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But my go-to with him is as Tywin Lannister in Game of Thrones. Like, he's you'll be able to comment because you've seen something more recent that he was in, and I
Yeah.
haven't seen it yet. Excuse me. And he was awesome in Game of Thrones. He was the dad of the Lannister family, and to one character, he was an ass, and that was to his son that he was kind of like ashamed of. And then he had his other two kids that he like you kind of rooted for him being an ass to them. But whenever he's on screen, it was just like such a commanding you're like, man, I wouldn't want to be enemies with this guy, but I do kind of think if he was on my side, I'd be in good hands.
Yeah.
And it's just when he talked, he just had like a really good presence and commanding the scene when he's in it, and they weren't posting him up as the like this is the star of Game of Thrones either. Like he could be like name 9 on the call sheet or something too,
Hmm.
but he's just very good, speaks with authority, can be threatening, um, tough bastard
Yeah.
of an actor.
His doing research.
Hmm.
I'm a, I'm a professional.
Yeah, of course.
He his Wikipedia bio says he is known for playing
Intimidating, yes.
intimidating authoritarian characters and villains. But he seems like a pleasant man in real life.
Of course.
you know,
The
they are
best
actors.
actors are pleasant people and they understand acting is a job.
Yes. The reason why we're talking about Charles Dance is he has been cast in the Batman Part 2 as Christopher Dent, which will be the father of Harvey Dent. And it seems like Christopher Dent is one straight up asshole.
Hmm.
And if that's the case, well, they got a good actor to play him. I know him from the recent Frankenstein film, Guillermo del Toro. And he was good in that. It wasn't a huge role. He was the father of Victor Frankenstein. Ironically, when I was doing my research, Ryan,
Hmm.
he played Frankenstein's father, Dr. Frankenstein, in 2 films, 2 different films.
Nice.
He was in Frankenstein, the more recent one. You see that yet, by the way?
No.
It's good.
Yeah. That's all I've heard. I don't have Netflix. I'm one of the few people who don't. I used to use Netflix when I could use somebody's password, and Netflix
Yeah.
really cracked down on that. So there will end up being a month probably when we have a built up of things we want to see on there, and then we'll just pay for a month and watch everything, and that's when
I
I will
got
finally
you.
watch it.
Okay. Uh, so he was in that, and then he was Frankenstein's father in this. I never even knew this movie happened called Victor Frankenstein. You familiar with it? With Daniel Radcliffe playing
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Igor.
Was that like a decade ago?
Yeah, like 2015.
Okay, yeah, never saw it.
Anyway, just a little anecdote
Yeah,
right
isn't that
there.
something?
Yeah,
It's all connected.
it's all connected, man.
It's all connected.
Um, so yeah, and everyone. I didn't watch Game of Thrones, so I didn't know him from that. But a lot of people, the reaction was like, "Oh man, this is a top notch get right here." People who've seen him
It's
in it.
it seems like he could be, and we'll see. He's playing Harvey Dent's dad. And one thing that drives me nuts is these people who quickly Google and all of a sudden they're like, finally, Christopher Dent, he gets justice. He
Yeah,
gets time on the screen. It's like the dude's been in 3 comics,
yeah,
something like that. And one is Batman Annual 14. Read it because it's a really good story, but that's where it has the most Christopher Dent stuff. Otherwise, he's just kind of mentioned,
yeah,
very sporadically by Harvey Dent. Um, but he's not a good character in that story. If that's inspiration for this version of like, man, I could see this guy playing a dirty asshole.
yeah,
Like, adjective, not noun. But like he could be like just I don't know. And so then as soon as like that was announced, and I texted you this too of
yeah,
seeing I don't know the movie. I'm not going to act like I know. But him compared to the names of Daniel Craig and Brad Pitt thrown in there,
mm-hmm,
yeah, it's one that does seem like this guy has. They're all 3 different kinds of actors. Brad Pitt almost it seems would have been a pretty boy choice, and I
mm-hmm.
mean that with respect. This guy could just he could play a really mean drunk.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
don't know that Brad Pitt could. He'd be a charming drunk, you know. You'd root if
yeah,
Christopher Dent in the movie is abusive to Harvey Dent and Brad Pitt is playing Christopher Dent, you'd be like, you know what? I kind of get where he's coming from here.
yeah,
Just because he's Brad Pitt and he says everything with charm. Whereas this guy, you could be like, God, this guy's a dick. I don't
Yeah.
like this guy.
Yeah. Um, Speaking of that, Brad Pitt one time was up for the role, quote unquote. I think it was Justin Kroll. He's an entertainment writer. He's a variety, I believe. Said the only of all the scuttlebutt over this role, the only actor he knows who 100% declined it was Stellan Skarsgård.
Hmm. Okay.
So I don't know if Brad Pitt or um, Daniel Craig were officially offered the role. Maybe there was some talk, and it was like, I'm doing this. I can't. My schedule's not clear. Never been a turned it down type of thing. I don't know how. I heard the Liam Neeson stuff. I don't know how far that came, because they probably, when they're casting, they'll say, okay, we have this part. Let's name some people.
Yeah.
Let's name
explore
some
some possibilities.
Yeah. So I think a lot of those could have been just that.
Yeah.
I can definitely see Stellan Skarsgård in this role.
Yeah.
And I think he's kind of more like what they ended up with Charles Dance. And I don't want to say they ended up with Charles Dance. I don't want, because it's like they didn't settle.
That seems negative. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times,
because the narrative became, Ryan, it was like, who won? Everybody's what's wrong with the Batman Part 2? What's people just turning down this role? That's not what happened in reality. That's what I'm trying to get at here.
And I mean, you end up hearing, because I'm a sucker for making of and behind the scenes stories. I enjoy that stuff. And you do hear so many times over the years of movies where the person who got roles were not the first person they saw it for whatever reasons. Other people didn't work out with that one or this one. And I'm not like, this is our ranking of number 1, 2. Well, 1 passed, 2 passed. It was like, no, they're all on the same playing field. And it just didn't work out with however many it did with this person. And then that role's like, well, thank God it didn't, like, without that person playing this role, this movie would have been so different. And that's happened so much over the years. So it's like,
yeah, I think they wanted Jack Nicholson to play Michael Corleone in The Godfather.
Really?
And yeah, he was turned it down, and
it's just like it'd just be a different movie. And I think it's kind of across the board that's a movie is like, no, as it is how it should be. And I don't know. This is their choice. This is who they have going forward. So then having seen him, and yes, mostly because of one role, but seeing how good he was in that role, it's a I don't want to be over dramatic with it, but it is kind of exciting that that's who they have in this movie playing a perhaps not scene stealing, but a very impactful role like that. Like, great. Excellent.
It appears that this is a role in the film that's important, and you want the audience to really, really, really dislike this guy.
Yeah, quite
a bit.
We thought of you, Charles.
Yes.
He's like, okay, what's the paycheck? I'm fine with that.
Exactly. So
maybe he was holding out though. Like, I really thought you guys were going to bring Egghead in here. I want to be Egghead's dad. That villain movie is coming in 2028.
Yeah. Egghead. Yes. Apparently this is the last major role of the film.
Interesting.
With that said, I would also note to people listening, they will continue to cast this film, probably even once they start filming. There'll be roles that are cast. It happens all the time with movies. And I'm sure we'll see other roles come up and get mentioned in the press that'll be in the movie. But as far as the main characters of this film, I think this is it. So you got
Bill, they didn't announce the villain. Is there no villain in the Batman Part 2?
Yes, there is. Yes,
That's
there
the
is, Ryan.
that's where people can't. I'm not going to. Sorry. That's where some need to. I do think need to take a break. So it's insinuated because so far of what we know, in which Matt Reeves didn't even confirm, but apparently
Hmm.
Sebastian Stan did that he is playing Harvey Dent and he starts
Yeah.
filming this summer. Um, but it's like
Oh,
okay,
he also said uh, it's going to be the most physically demanding role he's ever had.
well that clearly means he's Two-Face.
Yeah, that 100%.
But because there has been no, we had big announcements for the Batman. Colin Farrell's playing Penguin, Zoe Kravitz is playing Catwoman, Paul Dano's playing the Riddler. It's like, oh my God, we've got three villains. There has been no announcement like that. So I think the implication, not implication,
Assumption.
assumption, thank you, is well, that just means Harvey Dent's Two-Face.
Hmm.
Obviously, that's what's happening. I don't know. I haven't read the script, Bill. So, shocker. That doesn't mean that. And if because there has to be a villain in a Batman movie, right? Like
Hmm.
that's the whole point of like a big story is him having to stop some bad guy in some fashion. What if we don't know going into the movie? So then we have to watch the
Yeah.
movie to be surprised by what we're gonna
Yes.
see. That
That's
excites the hell out of me.
that's what I've tried to explain to people who ask the same question you ask. When are they going to announce the villain? Well, what if they already have?
Alfred,
What if they
clearly. He's
don't?
gonna turn it, they just
Yeah.
made amends last movie, and Alfred's gonna be like, the butler did it, and stab him in the
Yes.
back.
Yes.
Spoiler alert. I did read the script.
Yes. The butler in the study with the
Yes.
with the knife.
With the
It's
knife. Yeah.
Clue. It's
Batman
Clue.
Part 2. Clue.
Clue.
No,
It's
but I think that's
yeah.
cool to consider.
Yeah.
You've said
Because
that too. Like, what if they have?
we've gotten used to historically Jack
Yeah.
Nicholson has been cast as the Joker. Danny DeVito, the Penguin, go on and on and on.
And
I
I'm
mean,
okay. I am okay with that
yeah,
too. I
even
am.
with Tommy Lee Jones is Two-Face.
Uh-huh.
Name a Batman movie, we can, Tom
Yeah.
Hardy, Bane.
It's happened
Anne
every
Hathaway,
single Batman movie.
Catwoman. Like, yeah, everyone. Doing something a little different here.
That cool. And
Yes.
maybe in the filming starts underway and they just bombshell us with, and I'm not being a smartass of, and I'm plucking one out of thin air. Man, I'm struggling now. Of course I'm blanking. But they announced somebody's cast as, and it's a villain. Like, okay, great. As of now, we don't have that big announcement, and by you saying that the major roles have been cast. Okay. The sometimes the less we know, the better. I have gotten that way as I've gotten older. Of like the less I
The
know, like
villain
I
may be not one individual. You
could
know what I'm
be,
saying?
yeah, could be the mutants,
Yeah.
and they're
That's
keeping that under wrap.
exactly.
A bunch of
Exactly.
people with really sharp nipples, shirtless, running around Gotham, and they're just gonna
Yeah.
keep that under wraps.
Yeah. They're gonna keep that under wraps because they
Because that's a
stiff.
hard sell in a trailer, that could turn some people away. But in all seriousness, maybe they, and I know what you're hinting at and stuff, and it's like that's great. And the sell of the movie, I know, and it's completely fine. General audience can be like, Batman has the best villains in pop culture. Bring it on, and I'll challenge whoever wants to dispute that. So a marketing sell, a good sell for it is a villain.
Hmm.
Um, but also you can take a route of, well, the cell is Batman, but the cell last movie was Batman too. So it's like,
Hmm.
get him invested again, more Batman. So I can understand if somehow there's something comes out building up to the release where we get a better idea of a villain in this movie, villains, whatever. And that like I'm just here as an audience member. It's just intriguing that at this point, when we are a little over a month away from when they said they're going to start filming, that we don't have an idea
Hmm.
of a villain or the plot at all. I'm completely fine with that.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll probably get a synopsis, and then we'll get all sorts of fan
Shenanigans.
fiction shenanigans. Take it. What
Yeah.
does it mean? What does it all mean?
What does it mean? How's it connected, Bill? Well,
Yes.
that's where you come to batman-on-film.com.
So
We'll tell
we
you how it's all
got-
connected.
So where we're at, we're about a month-ish out from filming. Robert Pattinson's back as Batman Bruce Wayne.
That's what you did. He's been doing weight training with you.
Yes. We upped the Bosu ball from 5 pounds to 10
That's
pounds.
Well, he's going to be a
Or I'm sorry,
beast.
the dumbbell.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
He's-
Using the Bosu ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That can't go.
All right.
That can't. You got to have that. Maybe
Yeah.
throw in 2.
This Bruce is going to be jacked.
But the dumbbell.
Yeah.
We're not playing around with 5-pound dumbbell anymore.
Yeah.
10 pounds now, son. 10 pounds.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's ride. Let's lift.
Yes. And that's probably what he is actually doing right now. He is in training for Batman. He said that. Well, kind of. He said, as soon as I finish this press tour for the drama.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say, the drama.
The
which
drama.
I have not stumbled upon whatever some twist or development in that movie that really takes, like, I'm interested in that movie by what's been said about it, but I don't know what it's about, and I'm staying in the clear. I'm interested. He's going to have a heck of a year.
Yeah.
Filming his
Dune.
Batman. He's got the Odyssey. He's got Dune at the end of the year. Like, old Pattinson's going to have a pretty good year.
Yeah. So he's coming back. We need Batman. You need Batman and Bruce Wayne in a Batman movie.
I
right?
need Batman in my Batman movie. And then the rest is just icing on the cake. Just give me Batman and then I'll be fine.
And so, the rest, that core group will be back. Jim Gordon.
But Zoe Kravitz isn't going to be in it, Bill. What the hell? Scarlett Johansson's going to be Catwoman?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, if you watch the Batman at the end, they parted ways and went different directions. He went to answer the Batman. He went to answer the bat signal in Gotham.
Yeah.
And she was heading out to Bloodhaven.
Okay. And then the Penguin picks up how long after the Batman?
Like literally the next day.
So she probably just got to Bloodhaven. Okay. Then the Penguin season happens in a short amount of time.
Yes.
And then the Batman Part 2 picks up when?
Like a week or 2 afterwards.
Okay. So Selena probably just got her place to live in Bloodhaven.
Yeah.
Just got a litter box for her cat. The cat's only got to use it twice by the time the Batman Part 2 picks up. So she's probably still in Bloodhaven. Okay. Well, you know what that means.
Yeah.
A Nightwing movie's coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all connected.
Yeah, gotta be. This about the cast. Returning actor and with whatever role, Jeffrey Wright, whoever. Who are you most interested in seeing again, and how the character expands or grows?
Penguin.
Okay.
Because he's evolving.
Colin Farrell's coming back. Yes.
Yeah, he's evolving. We saw that.
Yeah.
We saw his placement in this world in the first movie. We saw his arc, where he ended up in the series, and so I'm definitely excited because he does it obviously so freaking well. I'm excited to see what they do with him. I know he's not the star. He's not the lead. I don't know. Sorry. By his words, he's not the lead in the Batman Part 2 or anything, but he's going to be in it. So I'm really curious to see what he's going to do. Because knowing behind the scenes stuff, Andy Serkis is so busy, and not just like in acting, but in directing. And as anybody sees, directing is that's your job, is that movie for a year and a half, 2 years. And somehow he's going to film the Batman Part 2. Curious to see what they do with Alfred now that he and Bruce ended up where they did at the end of the last movie.
Yeah, that's where I want to see that. I want to see where Gordon is after this.
Yeah.
I don't expect him to be commissioner yet. I want to see the state of Gotham police after the events of the Batman.
Yeah.
when they root, when they're attempting the beginning of rooting out the corruption and whatnot.
It's been a long wait. It has, but I have a life, so I have other interests to
Yes.
focus on. But now that we're getting so close, some excitement ramps up to be like, oh, great, I get to see the next chapter of the Batman,
I
like
mean, all of it.
that's
I
just
mean, really,
exciting.
the new character, Sebastian Stan, Harvey Dent.
Yeah. Let's
Um,
see their development. Like,
yeah,
cool.
let's go. Scarlett Johansson, Gilda Dent. She's not just some wife. I'm just going to play Harvey Dent's wife,
Yeah.
homemaker at home.
Hmm.
And,
Sounds like Bill. Buckle up. Let's ride.
Charles Dent, and then one last question
Sure.
of not the big names who are returning, not
Uh-huh.
not Colin Farrell, Robert Pattinson, whatnot. Characters who are in the Batman as supporting roles, small supporting roles, you want to see come back in part two.
I think I know who you want me to say.
I gotta.
I'm
There's
struggling with and not just to be smart aleck or anything. But I mean, it made an impression on me. It was Martinez. Now I could say
Martinez.
Bach because of his you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But if I don't see him again, I'm not gonna be like, where's Bach? I got what I needed from Bach. He popped up in the Penguin briefly, and that was completely
Yes,
fine.
that wouldn't shock me. It would not shock me if he returns because he was in the Penguin.
Martinez, though, it's
Martinez, yeah,
there's a little bit more with him of feeling like he won you over with him of almost that's a genuine good cop,
yeah.
and you saw that in the movie. As limited as he was in the movie, he also was there in scenes that, I remember him. Outside of that, it's uh, I mean, there's something there for Bruce Wayne with Bella Real.
Yeah.
I feel there's something to expand
Mm-hmm.
on with them, but I can't sit there and say
Saw her briefly in the Penguin.
I cannot wait to see Bella Real in the sequel. That's not true. And it's not because of the actress or anything. It's just, I think, to answer your question directly, there's a reason Martinez is at the, forefront of my brain of that's the one.
Well, all I got to say is he better have got a promotion. He better be a detective. Okay.
Yeah.
Sergeant Martinez.
Sergeant Martinez.
Yeah.
Hey.
I was about to say,
hey, Bruce Wayne.
And I can't wait to see the scene where he meets Bruce Wayne again. And it's just awestruck.
Hey.
All right. I think it's going to do it. Hey.
I think so.
Mr. Wayne.
Mr. Wayne.
You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch. Maybe there'll be another character from the GCPD that will make an impression.
Yeah. A new one we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's
Harvey
go.
Bullock, they'd announced. I don't know. Oh, they've got Harvey Bullock in their back. Bring Harvey Bullock to live action. That's not in a TV show.
Is there enough room in a Batman movie for two Harveys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's settled. All right. Let's get on out of here. Anything you got going on you want to mention? What's going on with the Batman Book Club?
New episode dropped today. With writer Michael D. Nichols. He released a book called Batman and the Classics. And I want to read this whole subline to you as well. Batman and the Classics, Echoes of Mythology, Literature, and Philosophy in the Comics and Films. He's a professor at Purdue, and he and I were A-okay in talking because I was wearing a Michigan sweatshirt, and I was like, I hope this doesn't bother you. And he said, no, we're good. And I said, okay, we both understand Ohio State's the real enemy. I had a good conversation about I brought it up to him too of, he's aware of Michael Uslan's story. And I said, it kind of seems like the baton's been passed to you where he's relating classic literature and, these great stories, relating them to references and themes presented in some Batman comics. And it's not just Batman, but this book is all about, Batman. And so we talked about that book because that just came out. And so that episode, spoiler free, listen to it. He's very, sometimes you're in a room where you just feel like the idiot. And I kind of felt like one talking to him because he's a
Okay.
very intelligent man. And I'm like, man, I gotta try it. I gotta, you say, oh, Charles there is an actor. I was an actor, Bill. I tried to seem like I could keep up with this guy. And
Yeah.
but it was a good conversation. It's a brief 45-minute episode that just dropped anywhere you listen to podcasts, the Batman Book Club.
Is he a Batman fan? Or you
Oh,
just
yeah.
thought okay. I don't know if he just thought that the Batman topic was interesting to
No,
write about.
he's done he'd mentioned that he'd done something with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He did a book relating that, not the exact same way, but in some different ways. And he'd said that, Batman was right there too, of, because he's just aware of pop culture. He's interested in it. He's read comics since he was a young kid. And he addresses that in his book as well. Yeah, Batman. I didn't ask him because I didn't put it on him if Batman was his favorite. It definitely sounded like it is. So he comes from a place of like he's a fan,
Okay.
and now he's mixing, fandom with his profession.
I'll have to get this book and read it.
Yeah, I passed it along to Trey Jackson. He does a lot of reviews for Batman on Film and stuff too, and because he's also a smart gentleman that is, he knows a lot of the literature references and stuff. And so I passed that along to him, like, hey, I hadn't heard of this book until I talked to Michael, and I do think this is one that's up your alley. You'd get a lot of value out of it. So there you go.
Cool. All right. Batman on Film.
Batman Dash
here. With the we get the dash.
Don't forget the dashes.
Of course, we're ramping up with the Batman Part 2. That'll be like front and center. Still doing the Batman 66 60th anniversary season 1 podcast. And
Let me plug one more thing.
Yeah.
Follow the Batman Book Club, because next month I'm doing 4 episodes on The Dark Knight Returns, a book and episode. That was Bill Jett Ramey's idea, and Bill's the first one on that. So you're on my show again next month.
That was a good one.
We went deep. We went deep.
Really deep in the book.
Not just two guys joshing around. We got deep. Okay, we were questioning life and our existence and everything.
Yes, yeah. Do we live in a simulation? Everything. It was, it was deep. All right. Anyway, all of that on Batman on Film. Check it out. Go there. That's your place. All right. For Ryan, I'm Bill. Announcer Rachel. Here she comes. She's jumping up on here to the microphone, and she's going to take us out. We'll catch you next time.
You have been listening to the BOF Social Hour, Jett's official podcast on Batman on Film. Follow BOF on Threads at The Batman on Film. Follow BOF on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Batman on Film. To help keep BOF up and running, go to patreon.com/BatmanOnFilm, or you can buy BOF a beer at buymeacoffee.com/TheRealBatmanOnFilm. For Jett and everyone at BOF, I'm announcer Rachel. Authoritative, definitive, the original, Batman on Film, founded in 1998.